Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you've had a good Tuesday, day back after Labor Day. Um, we're still trying to see how far we can push ChatGPT 4.0 to give us a good D&D game. It's been doing good so far, just that it hangs up every time it has to generate an answer. So I don't know if it's going to get too long where it won't be able to run it at all anymore, or what we're going to have to do. But for now, we've got some music. This is not copyrighted music. This is from Bardify on YouTube. So if you like it, go check them out. And I guess with that, we're ready for summarization of episode 4.
In episode 4 of Simon and Ella's Adventure, the duo, along with Lyra, continued their exploration of the mysterious cave where they had previously defeated Seraphis, a member of the Order of the Elemental Claw. After dispatching Seraphis, Ella decided his dangerous beliefs and intentions were too much of a threat, and she ended his life with a swift, decisive strike. With Seraphis dead, the group took a short rest to regain their strength. During this time, they carefully studied Seraphis's belongings. Ella delved into his journal, uncovering Seraphis's obsession with awakening a greater power tied to the elemental forces. Simon examined a map that highlighted key locations, including a mysterious place called the Cradle of the Elements to the north. Lyra investigated a black crystal pendant that radiated a dark, unsettling energy, discovering that it could channel or amplify elemental power, though it seemed to come with significant risks. After resting, the group decided to explore the cave further, looking for hidden passageways or secret tunnels. Ella's keen eyes discovered a hidden mechanism that revealed a narrow, dark passageway leading deeper into the cave. After carefully examining the passage for traps and anything unusual, the group found it to be relatively safe, though it was cold and unsettling, with faint scratches on the walls and loose stones on the floor. The episode concluded with the group contemplating whether to proceed down the hidden passageway or explore other parts of the cave. They decided to end the session here, leaving the next steps of their journey for the following episode. End of episode 4.
Okay, we're ready to start episode 5 now. Could you please tell us our options?
Welcome back for episode 5 of Simon and Ella's Adventure. Here's a quick rundown of where you are and what your options might be as you continue your journey. Have recap. You've just discovered a hidden passageway in the cave where you previously defeated Seraphis, a member of the Order of the Elemental Claw. After carefully examining the passage and determining it to be free of traps, you're now contemplating your next move. Huh? Your options: 1. Enter the hidden passageway. Proceed cautiously down the hidden passageway to explore what lies deeper within the cave. This could lead to new discoveries or further dangers. 2. Explore other parts of the cave. Return to the main cave and investigate any other areas you might have missed. There could be more secrets or valuable items hidden within the cave. 3. Return to Archmage Valen. Take what you've learned and the items you've found back to Archmage Valen. You could discuss your findings with him and see if he has any advice or additional tasks for you. 4. Consult with Lyra. Take a moment to discuss your options with Lyra and Simon. She might have insights or suggestions that could help guide your decision. 5. Prepare for potential threats. Take some time to prepare yourselves for whatever might lie ahead. You could review your spells, set traps, or come up with a strategy for dealing with any potential encounters. What will you do? The cave holds many secrets, and the path ahead is filled with uncertainty. How would you like to proceed?
I say we go down the hidden passage we just discovered and check for traps on.
Okay.
We travel further down the secret passageway, moving stealthily to hide our presence. Well, that's not good. It looks like it dropped.
What does that mean?
The last question I asked it to do didn't go through whatsoever, but it was starting to do something. We continue stealthily down the hidden passageway.
All right, give me a second.
Okay.
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 Simon, Ella, and Lyra proceed cautiously into the hidden passageway, moving with stealth and precision. The narrow tunnel stretches ahead, the air growing colder as you descend deeper into the cave. The flickering light from Ella's lantern casts eerie shadows on the rough stone walls, and the faint sound of dripping water echoes through the passage. The walls of the tunnel are close, and the ground beneath your feet is uneven, making it essential to watch your step. As you move forward, you notice the passageway gradually slopes downward, hinting that it might lead to a lower chamber or deeper into the earth. After several minutes of careful progress, the passage begins to widen, and the sound of the dripping water grows louder. You can sense that you're approaching a larger chamber. What do you do? Would you like to? 1. Scout ahead. Send Ella or Simon ahead to scout out the chamber before the rest of the group enters. 2. Proceed together. Move into the chamber together, prepared for whatever might be waiting. 3. Listen for sounds. Stop and listen carefully to see if you can detect any signs of life or danger in the chamber ahead. 4. Check for traps. Examine the entrance to the chamber for any traps or hidden dangers before proceeding. How would you like to approach the chamber?
I'm thinking listen for sounds.
First thing,
First thing, what?
um, we should all listen for sounds.
Okay.
Um,
What after that?
check for traps.
Anything else?
Um, scout ahead.
Who?
Do you want to be you or me?
You're checking for traps. I can scout ahead. There we go.
All right.
Simon, Ella, and Lyra come to a halt just before the passageway opens into the larger chamber. The air feels heavy, and the sound of dripping water is more pronounced now. You each take a moment to listen carefully, hoping to catch any sounds that might hint at what lies ahead. Listening for sounds. The three of you stand in silence, ears straining to catch even the faintest noise. The dripping water echoes off the stone walls, but beneath that, you hear something else, very faint, almost imperceptible, like the soft rustling of something moving in the darkness. It's hard to tell what it is, but it sounds organic, perhaps the movement of creatures or the shifting of some natural substance. Checking for traps. Ella then moves forward cautiously, examining the entrance to the chamber for any signs of traps. The stone floor here is uneven, and the walls are rough hewn, but there are no obvious signs of mechanical traps or hidden dangers. However, she does notice that the ground is more damp here, with small puddles of water gathering in the crevices, which could make footing treacherous. Etchar, scouting ahead. With the passageway seemingly clear, Simon decides to scout ahead. Moving with practiced stealth, he enters the chamber. The lantern light reveals more of the chamber's details. The ceiling is higher here, the walls expanding outwards to create a cavernous space. Water seems to be coming from cracks in the ceiling, forming small streams that trickle down the walls and gather in shallow pools on the floor. As Simon takes in the surroundings, he notices that the chamber is roughly circular, with several natural stone pillars supporting the ceiling. The air is colder here, and there's a faint, musty smell, as if the chamber hasn't been disturbed in a long time. In the center of the chamber, partially obscured by shadow, Simon spots something unusual: a large, moss covered stone altar, ancient and worn, with strange symbols carved into its surface. The rustling sound you heard earlier seems to be coming from around the altar, though the source remains hidden in the darkness. What do you do? Would you like to investigate the altar? Move closer to the altar to examine it and see what might be causing the rustling sound. 2. Search the chamber. Explore the rest of the chamber to see if there are any other points of interest or hidden dangers. 3. Regroup. Signal for Ella and Lyra to join you and proceed together. 4. Set a trap. Use the chamber's natural features to set a trap or prepare for any potential danger. How would you like to proceed?
Well, this is you, so what do you want to do?
I could either investigate the altar or call for you and Lyra.
What do you think is best?
I guess I'll just investigate the altar.
Okay.
Investigate the altar further.
I've been waiting for the chat GPT.
Simon approaches the altar cautiously, his senses on high alert. The closer he gets, the more he can make out the details of the ancient stone structure. The altar is large, roughly 6 feet long and 4 feet wide, and it seems to have been carved directly from the rock of the chamber. The surface is worn smooth by time, though the symbols etched into it are still faintly visible, their meaning obscured by age. As Simon inspects the altar, he notices several key details. One, symbols of elemental power. The carvings on the altar seem to depict various elemental symbols: swirling winds, jagged lightning bolts, and flowing waves, suggesting that this altar may have been used in rituals involving the elemental forces. 2. Old bloodstains. Near the center of the altar, Simon finds faint traces of what appears to be old bloodstains. They're dark and dried, indicating that whatever ritual took place here happened long ago. Number 3, hidden compartment. Running his fingers along the edge of the altar, Simon feels a slight indentation, almost as if a section of the stone could be moved or removed. It appears to be a hidden compartment, cleverly disguised to blend in with the rest of the altar. 4. The rustling sound. The rustling sound grows slightly louder as Simon stands near the altar, and he can now tell it's coming from the other side of the stone structure. It's as if something is moving just out of sight, hidden by the shadows cast by the altar and the stone pillars. What do you do with these discoveries in
Should I investigate the rustling sound or open the hidden compartment or check it for traps first?
Do you think we should come in?
Yeah, let me go ahead and call both of you down. Relira and Ella to come to his position.
So just as curiosity, what do you think is in there?
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
Simon motions for Ella and Lyra to join with him. It spit out a response. It wouldn't let me read it out. It was like got hung at the very end. But then when I refreshed it, it lost it again. D&D with patience.
Do you see how I'm sitting here? Very calm, very quietly. There's a mirror.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. Finish up.
Okay, with the group now gathering at the altar,
Simon quickly and quietly signals for Ella and Lyra to join him at the altar. They move stealthily to the chamber, taking care to avoid loose stones and puddles that might give away their position. As they reach Simon, they take in the details of the ancient altar and the faint rustling sound coming from the other side. The situation, the altar. The ancient stone altar bears symbols of elemental power, with faint traces of old bloodstains at its center. Simon has discovered a hidden compartment along the edge of the altar which could hold something important. The rustling sound. The source of the rustling sound is still hidden, likely just on the other side of the altar. It's unclear what's causing it, but it's close. What do you do? With the group now gathered at the altar, you can choose to 1. Open the hidden compartment. Investigate the hidden compartment that Simon found on the altar. Check the source of the rustling sound. Carefully move around the altar to see what's causing the rustling sound and prepare for a possible encounter. Ready weapons or spells in case the source of the rustling is hostile. Explore the Explore the rest of the chamber. Leave the altar for now and explore the other parts of the chamber. How would you like to proceed? What do you want to do?
Well, I would like to see the. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hmm. Can I check the hidden compartment for traps?
Ella wants to check the hidden compartment traps. Ella Ella carefully approaches the hidden compartment, her instincts as a rogue guiding her every move. She kneels beside the altar, her eyes scanning the edges of the compartment for any signs of a trap, tiny mechanisms, hidden wires, or anything that could indicate danger. Checking for traps. Ella's fingers deftly trace the outlines of the indentation, feeling for any irregularities in the stone. After a thorough examination, she notices a very faint, almost imperceptible groove running alongside the compartment's edge, something that could potentially be connected to a trigger mechanism. It's subtle, but her keen senses pick up on it. Ella deduces that the compartment might be rigged to release something, perhaps a dart, gas, or another kind of trap when it's opened. The trigger seems to be mechanical, likely activated by lifting the stone covering the compartment. What do you do? Now that Ella has discovered the potential trap, you can choose to disarm the trap. Ella can attempt to disarm the trap before opening the compartment. Open the compartment anyway. Take the risk and open the compartment despite the trap, possibly using something to shield yourselves. Leave the compartment alone. Decide it's too dangerous and leave the compartment untouched. Discuss your options. Talk with Simon and Lear about how to proceed, considering the potential danger of the trap. How would you like to proceed?
Hmm. Let's see if we can investigate the noise.
Okay. The party decides to investigate the noise on the other side of the altar.
Simon, Ella, and Lyra decide to leave the hidden compartment for now and instead focus on the rustling noise coming from the other side of the altar. Moving cautiously, the three of you circle around the stone structure, keeping your weapons at the ready in case whatever is making the noise poses a threat. As you come around the side of the altar, the light from Ella's lantern reveals the source of the rustling, a small, twisted figure hunched over in the shadows. At first glance, it appears to be some kind of creature, its body covered in ragged, matted fur. The creature seems to be rummaging through a pile of debris that has collected in the corner of the chamber, perhaps searching for food or something else of value. When the light hits it, the creature stops and looks up, its glowing eyes reflecting in the darkness. You can see that it's a twig blight, a small, plant like creature with sharp thorns and gnarled limbs that resemble twisted roots and branches. The twig blight hisses as it notices you, its movements quick and jerky, ready to defend itself if necessary. What do you do? You can choose to 1. Attack the twig blight, engage the creature in combat before it has a chance to react. 2. Observe the creature. Stay back and watch the twig blight's behavior to see if it poses any immediate threat. 3. Communicate with the creature. Attempt to communicate with the twig blight, either through magic or by trying to calm it down. 4. Retreat. Move back and reconsider your approach, possibly avoiding the creature altogether. How would you like to proceed?
Well,
We could kill it, or we could observe it. I don't know what we could observe from it that would make us not kill it, unless it's got a baby twig.
okay, I would like to observe it, but with daggers in hands.
Ella wants to observe the twig blight and readies her daggers.
Wait a minute, let me make sure I have daggers. I'm
Huh?
confused. Wait a minute, make sure. I have to make sure. Yeah, I have daggers.
Okay. Wants to ready for daggers in preparation. Ella wants to
Mhm.
observe the twig blight while readying her daggers in advance.
Ella keeps her daggers at the ready, her muscles tense as she carefully observes the twig blight. The creature, hunched over and partially hidden in the shadows, seems focused on its task of rummaging through the debris. Its gnarled limbs move with a strange, jerky rhythm, and its glowing eyes dart around nervously, as if it's aware of the potential danger. but unsure of how to react. Observations. The twig blight appears to be more interested in whatever it's searching for among the debris than in the presence of the party. It doesn't make any aggressive moves, though it remains on edge, ready to defend itself if necessary. The creature's movements are quick but lack coordination, suggesting it might be scavenging out of desperation or instinct rather than with any real intent. Despite its small size and apparent focus on scavenging, the twig blight's thorny limbs and sharp claws indicate that it could be dangerous if provoked. What do you do? Given what you've observed, you can choose to 1. Attack the twig blight. Decide that it's too risky to leave the creature unchecked and engage it in combat. 2. Leave it alone. Back away and leave the twig blight to its scavenging, avoiding unnecessary conflict. 3. Try to calm it down. Attempt to calm the creature with gentle movements or soothing words to avoid a fight. 4. Investigate the debris. See if you can figure out what the twig blight is so focused on, possibly finding something valuable or useful. How would you like to proceed?
What do you want to do?
I'm going to ask it if it needs help.
Ella asks the twig blight if it needs help.
Ella speaks softly, keeping her voice calm and gentle as she addresses the twig blight. Do you need help? The twig blight pauses in its scavenging, its glowing eyes locking onto Ella. For a moment, it seems confused, as if trying to understand the intent behind her words. The creature tilts its head slightly, its movements less jerky now, as if it's considering whether to trust this unexpected offer of help. The twig blight doesn't respond verbally, but its posture seems to relax slightly. It stops rummaging through the debris and takes a cautious step toward Ella, as if testing her sincerity. Though it doesn't seem to understand her words fully, it's clear that the creature isn't immediately hostile. What do you do? You've made a connection with the twig blight, and it seems to be responding to your calm approach. You can choose to 1. Offer further assistance. Approach the twig blight and see if you can help it with whatever it's searching for. 2. Try to communicate again. Attempt to communicate more clearly with the twig blight, perhaps using body language or simple gestures. 3. Investigate the debris. Move closer to the debris pile and see if you can determine what the twig blight was so interested in. 4. Leave the creature be. Decide that you've done enough and back away, letting the twig blight continue on its own. How would you like to proceed?
I'm surprised it understood you.
I am a little too, so um, I'm going to try to communicate again.
Okay.
I'm going to hold my arms up and say, I just want to help.
Ella tries to communicate by holding up her arms Is that what you said? Is that what you said?
You see me?
I do now. Up her hands as if hold up her hands. Do you want to say anything else to it?
I just want to help.
Says, I just want to help. Come on. Ella slowly raises her hands, palms open and facing the twig blight, in the gesture of peace and non aggression. Her voice is calm and sincere as she speaks to the creature. Ella, I just want to help. The twig blight's glowing eyes flicker as it watches Ella's movements. It takes another cautious step closer, seeming to relax even more in response to her peaceful demeanor. The creature doesn't fully understand the words, but it seems to grasp the intent behind them. For a moment, the twig blight hesitates and slowly turns its attention back to the pile of debris it has been rummaging through. It reaches into the mess with its thorny limbs and pulls out something small, holding it up as if to show Ella. It's a withered, dried root, twisted and darkened with age. The twig blight holds it close, almost protectively, as if it's something important to it. What do? You gain the creature's trust, and it seems to be showing you what it has found. You can choose to 1. Examine the root. Take a closer look at the root the twig blight is holding to see if it has any significance. Number 2, offer to help further. Ask the twig blight if there's anything more you can do to help, either through words or gestures. 3, back away slowly. Give the twig blight some space and allow it to continue on its own, satisfied you've made peace. 4. Discuss with the party. Signal Simon and Lieber to join you and discuss what you do next with the twig blight and the root it has found. How would you like to proceed?
Offer to help further.
Offer to help further?
Yeah.
Offers to help further. Ella offers to help further.
Ella crouches down slightly, making herself appear less threatening to the twig blight. She extends her hands gently toward the creature, her voice still calm and reassuring. I can help you. Is there something more you need? The twig blight tilts its head, seemingly considering her offer. After a moment, it takes a step back and glances toward the pile of debris it had been rummaging through. It gestures with one of its thorny limbs, indicating the pile of twisted roots, dried leaves, and other natural detritus. The creature then looks back at Ella, almost as if it's asking her to help it find something within the pile. The twig blight's behavior suggests that it's searching for something specific, something that it values or needs. What do you do? You've made it clear that you're here to help, and the twig blight seems to be guiding you toward the debris. You can choose to 1. Search the debris together. Help the twig blight search through the pile of debris to find whatever it's looking for. 2. Ask for more information. Try to communicate further with the twig blight, using gestures or simple words to understand what it's searching for. 3. Call Simon and Lyra over. Signal for Simon and Lyra to join you in helping the twig blight search through the debris. 4. Examine the root. Take a closer look at the withered root the twig blight is holding to see if it might offer any clues. How would you like to proceed?
First, I would like to examine the root.
First, Ella wants to examine the root. Anything else? I can't see you.
What?
Are you doing anything else?
No.
Okay. Wanted to make sure before I pressed enter.
Huh?
Wanted to make sure before I pressed enter.
Um, didn't we just cover this? Examine the root?
That's what we're getting ready to do now.
Okay, I'm gonna take the dogs out and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Wait. Milo. 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 Okay. I'm here.
Okay. Oh, come on. Don't fail to play message. Alright. Ella carefully takes a closer look at the withered root that the twig blight is holding. The root is twisted and dark, its surface rough and gnarled. Despite its age and desiccated appearance, there's something oddly captivating about it, as if it holds some kind of latent power or significance. Examining the root. Upon a closer examination and inspection, Ella notices a few details about the root. 1. Unusual markings. The surface of the root is etched with faint, natural markings that almost resemble runes or symbols. These markings don't appear to be carved by hand, but rather formed naturally, as if the root itself was imbued with some kind of mystical energy. Faint glow. As Ella examines the root more closely, she detects a faint, almost imperceptible glow emanating from the center of the root. It's subtle, a soft greenish hue that suggests the root may still have some life left in it, or that it might be connected to some form of natural magic. Residual magic. Eva feels a subtle tingling sensation as she holds the root, indicating that it might still carry some residual magical energy. This energy is weak and ancient, but it's there, suggesting that the root could have been part of a ritual or used in some kind of spell work in the past. The twig blight watches Ella closely, its glowing eyes focused on her as she examines the root. It seems to be waiting to see what she'll do next. What do you do? You've learned a bit more about the root, but there are still questions that remain. You can choose to search the debris together, continue helping the twig blight sort through the pile of debris to find anything else of significance, ask the twig blight about the root, try to communicate with the twig blight to see if it knows more about the root and its significance, show the root to Simon and Lyra, signal for Simon and Lyra to join you and examine the root together, keep the root for further study, decide to keep the root for further study and move on from the twig blight. How would you like to proceed?
First, search the debris together.
Do what?
Search the debris together.
Ella searches the debris with the twig blight. The music track changed. We're now on the ethereal plane.
Ella carefully takes a closer look at the withered root that the twig blight is holding. The root is gnarled and twisted, its surface dark and rough with age. Though it looks unremarkable at first glance, there's something about it that feels significant. Perhaps a faint magical aura or a subtle connection to the natural world that Ella's keen senses can detect. After examining the root and sensing that it may be of importance to the twig blight, Ella decides to help the creature further. She gently nods to the twig blight, then begins to search through the debris pile alongside it. The twig blight, reassured by Ella's actions, moves closer and continues to sift through the mess with its thorny limbs. Searching the debris together, Ella and the twig blight carefully sift through the dried leaves, broken branches, and other natural detritus. As they work, the twig blight occasionally pauses, its attention focused on specific items within the pile. Ella follows its lead, paying close attention to anything that might stand out. After a few minutes of searching, Ella's hand brushes against something different, a small, polished stone that feels warm to the touch. As she pulls it from the debris, she sees that it's a smooth, oval shaped stone with faint carvings etched into its surface. The carvings resemble the elemental symbols she noticed on the altar earlier. The twig blight seems to react to the stone, its glowing eyes fixated on it as Ella holds it up. The creature moves closer almost reverently and gently touches the stone with one of its thorny limbs, as if confirming that this is what it has been searching for. What do you do? You found something significant in the debris, a small polished stone with elemental carvings. The twig blight seems to recognize it as important. You can choose to 1. Offer the stone to the twig blight. Hand the stone to the twig blight and see how it reacts. 2. Examine the stone further. Take a closer look at the stone to understand its significance and any potential magical properties. 3. Show the stone to Simon and Lyra. Call Simon and Lyra over to show them what you found and discuss its importance. 4. Ask the twig blight about the stone. Try to communicate with the twig blight to learn more about the stone and why it's important to the creature. How would you like to proceed?
Examine the stone further.
Ella wants to examine the stone further.
Ella holds the smooth, polished stone in her hands, feeling its faint warmth as she examines it more closely. The stone is small, fitting comfortably in her palm, and its surface is almost unnaturally smooth, as if it has been worn down over countless years. The carvings etched into the stone are intricate, depicting elemental symbols that seem to swirl and shift in the dim light of the lantern. Examining the stone, as Ella focuses on the stone, she begins to sense a faint magical aura emanating from it, something tied to the elemental forces. The carvings themselves appear to represent the four classical elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Each symbol is expertly carved, with tiny grooves that catch the light in a way that makes them seem almost alive, as if the elements themselves are captured within the stone. There's something more to this stone than just its appearance. Ella can feel a connection between the stone and the altar, almost as if the two were meant to be together, or perhaps that the stone was once part of a larger ritual. The stone's warmth suggests that it contains some form of latent energy, possibly elemental in nature, that could be harnessed or activated. What do you do? You've discovered that the stone holds a faint magical aura and is connected to the elemental forces. You can choose to 1. Offer the stone to the twig blight. Give the stone to the twig blight and see how it reacts, considering that it was searching for it. 2. Place the stone on the altar. Test the connection between the stone and the altar by placing the stone on the altar to see if anything happens. 3. Discuss with Simon and Lyra. Call Simon and Lyra over to show them the stone and discuss its potential significance. 4. Keep the stone. Decide to keep the stone for now, possibly to use its elemental power later, or to study it further. How would you like to proceed?
Simon and Lyra.
Ella calls over Simon and Lyra. What do you want to do after that?
And ask their opinions.
Then ask the opinions of Simon, who says to try putting it on the altar and ask Lyra her opinion.
Ella signals to Simon and Lyra to join her by gesturing toward the twig blight and the stone she's holding. Simon and Lyra approach cautiously, keeping their weapons ready but maintaining a non threatening posture in response to Ella's earlier actions. Group discussion. Ella holds up the smooth, polished stone between them, its elemental symbols glimmering faintly in the lantern light. She turns to the group, seeking their insights. What do you both think we should do with this stone? Steps forward, examining the stone thoughtfully before addressing the group. I think we should try placing it on the altar. The symbols on the stone match those carved into the altar, and there might be a connection there. It could unlock something or provide us with more information about what's going on in this cave. He gives a confident nod. clearly believing that integrating the stone with the altar is the right next step. Ella turns to Lyra, awaiting her opinion. Lyra steps closer, her eyes fixed on the stone and the altar. She runs a hand through her hair, contemplating the situation. Simon makes a good point. The alignment of the symbols suggests a deliberate connection. If we place the stone on the altar, it might trigger a mechanism or reveal something hidden. However, we should proceed carefully. There could be unforeseen consequences. Maybe we can prepare ourselves for whatever happens next before making the move. What do you do? With the group's input, you can choose to 1. Place the stone on the altar. Follow Simon's suggestion and place the stone on the altar, preparing for any potential outcomes. 2. Prepare before acting. Heed Lyra's advice by getting ready, perhaps casting protective spells or ensuring everyone is in position before placing the stone on the altar. 3. Investigate further first. Take a moment to explore the chamber more thoroughly or gather additional information before deciding to place the stone. 4. Offer the stone to the twig blight. Instead of interacting with the altar, consider giving the stone to the twig blight, respecting its apparent connection to the stone. How would you like to proceed?
What do you think?
I say you just place it on the altar and see what happens.
I say we place it, or we give it to the twig blight.
Give it to the twig blight.
Yeah.
Okay. Ella gives the stone back to the twig blight. Failed to play message. Ella considers the suggestions from Simon and Lyra, but something about the twig blight's reaction to the stone makes her hesitate. She looks at the small creature, which is watching her intently, its glowing eyes fixated on the stone in her hand. After a brief moment of consideration, Ella kneels down and gently extends the stone back towards the twig blight. Here, this belongs to you. The twig blight hesitates for a moment, then cautiously reaches out with one of its thorny limbs. It touches the stone with its delicate, almost reverent gesture, then quickly pulls it close, cradling it protectively against its gnarled body. The creature seems to relax noticeably, its posture no longer tense or defensive. The twig blight gazes up at Ella, its glowing eyes expressing something akin to gratitude, and then scurries back to the debris pile where it had been searching earlier, still holding the stone close. What happens next? With the stone returned, the twig blight appears content, as if it had found what it was looking for. It continues to rummage through the debris, but more slowly now, its movements no longer frantic or desperate. The atmosphere in the chamber feels calmer, as if tension has been lifted. The twig blight seems to less like a threat and more like a creature simply trying to survive in a harsh environment. What do you do? Now that the twig blight has the stone back, you can choose to Leave the chamber. Decide that your work here is done and leave the chamber to explore other parts of the cave. Investigate the altar further. Even without the stone, you can still examine the altar for other clues or hidden mechanisms. Talk to the twig blight. See if the twig blight reacts or communicates in any other way now that it has the stone. Prepare to leave. Discuss with Simon and Lyra what your next move should be and prepare to leave the chamber. What would you like to do next?
I want to try to communicate with the twig blight.
Ella tries to communicate further with the twig blight.
Ella watches as the twig blight cradles the stone, and a sense of calm settles over the chamber. Encouraged by the creature's more relaxed demeanor, she decides to try communicating with it again. She crouches down to be closer to its level, speaking in a gentle and reassuring tone. You found what you were looking for. Is there anything else you need? Can you show us if there's something important here? The twig blight pauses in its movements, at turning its glowing eyes toward Ella once more. It seems to be considering her words, or perhaps the tone of her voice. After a moment, it slowly nods its gnarled head, a gesture that feels almost human in its intent. The creature then looks around the chamber, as if scanning its surroundings, before it begins to move purposefully toward one of the chamber's stone pillars. It moves with more confidence now, the stone still clutched close to its chest. When it reaches the base of the pillar, it starts to scratch at the ground with its thorny limbs, revealing a small, hollow space beneath some loose stones. Inside the hollow, Ella sees a few small objects, likely hidden away by the twig blight or another creature long ago. Among the items are a small, weathered pouch made of leather, with something clinking softly inside, a faded piece of parchment with some faint writing on it, the ink nearly illegible from age, a tiny silver pendant in the shape of a crescent moon, tarnished but still intact. The twig blight looks back at Ella as if offering these items in return for her kindness. What do you do? With the twig blight revealing these hidden items, you can choose to 1. Examine the items. Take a closer look at the objects the twig blight has uncovered to see if they have any significance. 2. Thank the twig blight. Express your gratitude to the twig blight for revealing these items, acknowledging its help. 3. Share the items with the group. Call Simon and Lyra over to show them what the twig blight has found. 4. Leave the items. Decide that the items might be important to the twig blight and leave them in place, thanking the creature for its help. How would you like to proceed?
Okay, go back up.
Do what?
Go back up.
Go back up.
Yeah. Okay, go down again. I'm going to think the twig blight and take the items.
Ella takes the items and thanks the twig blight. No. Damn it. Ella carefully reaches into the hollow space, gently lifting the small, weathered pouch, the faded feature parchment, and the tiny silver pendant. As she does so, she looks back at the twig blight, offering a warm, sincere smile. Thank you for showing me these. I appreciate your help. The twig blight watches her with its glowing eyes, and though it doesn't speak, there's a sense of understanding in its gaze. The creature nods slightly before retreating back to the debris pile where it resumed its quiet, unhurried movements, examining the items. With the items now in hand, Ella takes a moment to examine them more closely. The weathered pouch. Ella opens the leather pouch and finds a small, round object inside. Upon closer inspection, they appear to be ancient coins, likely of some value to a collector or historian, though their exact worth is unclear. The faded parchment. The parchment is fragile, the ink almost completely faded with age. However, with some effort, Ella can make out a few words: moonlight, protection, an ancient bond. The full message is difficult to decipher, but it seems to be reference to something protective or magical in nature. The silver pendant. The pendant, shaped like a crescent moon, is tarnished but still holds a faint shine. It has an inscription on the back, though the words are so worn they're barely legible. It might be a protective charm or symbol of some ancient belief. What do you do? Now that Ella has these items, you can choose to show the items to Simon and Lyra, share the findings to the group, and discuss their significance or potential use. Examine the parchment further. Try to decipher more of the faded writing on the parchment, possibly using magic or special skills. Wear the pendant. Ella could decide to wear the pendant, hoping it offers some protection or some other benefit. Store the items safely. Keep the items in a safe place for now, deciding to study them later or show them to someone who might know more. How would you like to proceed?
Well, I'm gonna show them to you guys.
Ellis shows Lyra and Simon the items, and then what?
I'm gonna wear the pendant.
Ella then wears the pendant. Anything else?
Yes. Hold on a second. Sorry. Um, I'm gonna examine the parchment.
Okay, let's leave it at that. Any day now.
Ella walks over to Simon and Lyra, holding the small collection of items she discovered with the twig blight's help. She carefully lays out the items on a nearby flat stone so they can all get a better look. The twig blight showed me these. There's an old pouch with coins, this faded parchment, and a silver pendant with a crescent moon. Simon picks up one of the ancient coins from the pouch, turning it over in his hand. These might be valuable, or at least interesting to someone who studies ancient artifacts, he muses. Lyra inspects the pendant closely, noting the worn inscription. This could be some kind of protective charm, she suggests. It's seen better days, but it might still hold some power. Ella nods thoughtfully and decides to wear the pendant, hoping it might offer some form of protection or hidden benefit. As she slips the tarnished silver chain around her neck, the crescent moon pendant rests lightly against her chest. It feels cool to the touch, but comfortable, as if it belongs there. Next, Ella picks up the faded parchment, holding it carefully as she examines the fragile material more closely. The words are almost too faded to read, but with the lantern light and her sharp eyes, she focuses on the faint ink marks. Examining the parchment, Ella squints at the parchment, trying to make out the faded writing. The words are nearly lost to time, but after some effort, she manages to decipher a bit more. By the light of the crescent moon, ancient bond shall be restored, protection in the darkest hour. The parchment seems to be referencing some kind of ritual or protective spell tied to the power of the moon and perhaps the pendant itself. The exact details are still unclear, but it's possible that the pendant could be used in a specific ritual or that it offers some form of protection under the light of the moon. What do you do? With this new information, you can choose to 1. Discuss the parchment's meaning, share the details of the parchment with Simon and Lyra, and brainstorm what it might mean or how it could be used. 2. Investigate the parchment with magic. Use magic or a special skill to try to reveal more of the faded writing or to uncover any hidden properties of the parchment. 3. Explore the cave further. Now that you've examined the items, decide to continue exploring the cave to see what else you might find. 4. Rest and reflect. Take a moment to rest and consider the significance of the items you found before making your next move. How would you like to proceed?
Rest and reflection.
You don't want to do the altar hidden compartment yet?
What?
The altar's hidden compartment?
No.
Not now.
No.
We're finishing up for tonight.
Hmm?
Hey, are we finishing up for tonight?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. To rest and reflect. That will be the end of episode 5. Thank you for doing a good job as DM.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help guide you through episode 5 of Simon and Ella's adventure. If you ever want to continue the story or start a new one, I'll be here and ready to jump back into the action. Have a great rest, and I look forward to the next time we embark on an adventure together.
Okay. So if you've been with us this long, you've seen how it goes. We're going to call it quits for tonight. I'm not sure when the next session will occur. You never know. Um, but yeah, if you would like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe especially because with as random as we are with putting these chat GPT ones out, it would probably help if you subscribe to the page so you'll know when we're doing a another session of this. All right, that'll be it for now. Everybody have a good evening. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.